YouTube world, what's goody with y'all? My name is Ghiman Mckinney. Appreciate you guys for tuning into the channel today. Be sure to like the video right now if you're rocking with me and your boy. Subscribe to the channel if you're new as well. I do post a ton of great sports videos weekly and almost every single day if I can. And turn on post notifications too so you don't miss a single video. Okay, so let's get right into things. Chicago Bears, obviously, great season last year. Great, amazing season, okay? 12-4, made the playoffs, okay? The Chicago Bears won only 5 games in 2017. They won 12 in 2018. That is a 7-game improvement. Matt Nagy obviously is the coach of your future. Mr. Trubisky showed a ton of improvement. His completion percentage went up. He threw a lot more touchdowns. His passer rating went up. If you are a Bears fan, you like the progression Mr. Trubisky made from his rookie year to his sophomore season, okay? He obviously traded for Khalil Mack this past year. I don't know what John Gruden was doing. That's going to go down as one of the worst trades of all time if the Bears somehow luck up and win a Super Bowl. Okay, that was a great pickup. The Bears defense obviously was one of the best in the league, but honestly, it was a heartbreaking loss in the playoffs. I laughed my butt off when I saw Cody Parkey miss that field goal versus the Eagles. You obviously lost that game 16-15. You had a chance to go to win a playoff game, and you blew it. Okay, you blew it. Now, I feel for Cody Parkey. I really do. I don't wish that on any person. But just as a fan of football, as a Packers fan, I just have a little bit of natural hate for the Bears. So it was funny to see their fans being so salty, saying, "Oh, we're gonna win a playoff game." Yeet. But either way, let's get into some other football things. Now, your division has improved this year. The Packers obviously improved this year. The Vikings improved through the draft. The Lions have improved through the draft in the offseason. So, can the Bears potentially take that next step? And, because let's be real, the Bears now are on everyone's radar. Everyone knows about the Chicago Bears. Can they take that next step? We'll see. You did lose Adrian Amos, okay? But you did replace him with HaHa Clinton-Dix from the Packers. Honestly, to me, that's a downgrade in my opinion because I think that HaHa Clinton-Dix is a very good player. I'm a Packers fan, so I know a lot about him. But Adrian Amos, to me, was one of the 5 best safeties in all of football. One thing HaHa Clinton-Dix is, he's a very inconsistent player. He will take some chances that are, you're kind of, when you take some of those chances, you're kind of like, what are you doing? Like, he'll make some very good plays, but at the same time, he'll make some very boneheaded, dumb plays. Okay, he'll take a lot of risks. Okay, so obviously replacing Amos, you want to get a player that's somewhat close to his productivity. That's a decent replacement. Okay, now you did lose Vic Fangio in the offseason. Okay, now I want to tell you something right now. That's a key loss because Vic Fangio to me is the best defensive coordinator in the National Football League. He's right there with Wade Phillips. Okay, obviously Vic Fangio had a lot of success in Carolina and Indiana. Okay, in Houston, he had a great run in San Francisco. He actually helped them get to a Super Bowl. That San Francisco defense was nasty. Obviously, the Bears defense was terrible when he took over. But each year, they got better and better and better. And this year, he was able to, with the addition of Khalil Mack, make the Bears a transcendent type defense. Okay, can you potentially sustain the level of play you had as a defense without Vic Fangio? To me, I'm gonna say no. I think your defense takes a slight step back this year. Now, talent-wise, your defense is very, very good. So I think it's going to easily be a top 10 defense. But potentially the best defense in the league, I don't think that'll be the case this year, okay? You see when you lose a good coordinator at times, you're going to struggle. I mean, Matt Ryan, ever since he's lost Kyle Shanahan, has not returned to his MVP form. So whenever you lose a good coordinator, I do think that gets overlooked in the National Football League. But let's also briefly talk about what you guys did in the draft. Obviously, you lost Jordan Howard in the offseason to the Philadelphia Eagles, but you replaced him with you still got Tariq Cohen. Tariq Cohen is a very, very good running back. He and Jordan Howard obviously shared carries last year, okay? But in the draft, you added David Montgomery, a very underrated running back out of Iowa State. I like him a lot as a prospect. You also added Riley Ridley out of Georgia. He definitely should add to your wide receiver core. He's definitely going to contribute this year in my eyes and opinion. Okay, so the Bears are riding high. So, I think I've talked enough. Let's get right into your schedule. Now, I will say this. This year, Chicago, last year, you lucked up. You got an easy schedule last year because you only faced 3 playoff teams from a year ago. The only 3 teams you faced last year that made the playoffs were the Patriots, the Seahawks, and the Rams. This year, you're facing a boatload of playoff teams. So, can you potentially fall because you have a harder schedule this year? Well, we shall see. Let's get right into things. Green Bay Packers, first game of the NFL season. Okay, let's see. All right, at Broncos. Okay, at Redskins, Vikings at home. You will be 2-2 after those stretch of games. I got you losing to my Packers. Even though you do get them at home, you'll lose at the Broncos. But I do think you'll beat the Redskins. I think you'll beat the Vikings. I'll explain myself right about now. Obviously, I'm a Packers fan, but I'm being very objective here. I think the Packers have a good chance of beating you week 1 in your house, okay? This game could go either way, but I think Aaron Rodgers is going to be rejuvenated this year. Aaron Rodgers obviously was playing a little bit hurt last year, okay? The offensive line wasn't very good. The defense wasn't very good. And obviously, he was on a collision course with Mike McCarthy as a head coach. The Green Bay Packers have improved their offensive line. They've improved their defense. They had a very good draft. They had a very good free agency period and a ton of great players on defense. They took your safety, Adrian Amos. He's on their team now. I think a rejuvenated, motivated Aaron Rodgers is a dangerous player. And you give Aaron Rodgers the coach whose specialty is offensive play calling. Oh my God, that's scary. I think this game could go either way, but I think the Packers respond this year. I think they could potentially win 9-10 games this year. I think you lose to the Packers at home. And then at the Broncos, your former defensive coordinator, Vic Fangio, is their head coach now. He knows your team in and out. It's a tough place to play at Denver. Bradley Chubb and Von Miller are two of the best pass rushers in all of football. Mitch Trubisky, life will be hard for him, okay? I just think that you lose a tough game at Denver, but I think you'll beat Washington. I think you'll beat Minnesota at home. I think you're good enough to beat those teams. Now, the next 4 games. At Oakland, bye week, Saints at home, Chargers at home, at Philly. I think you will beat the Oakland Raiders in their house. Come off a bye week, I think you beat the Saints. I think you'll lose to the Chargers, and I think you'll lose at Philadelphia. I'll tell you why. All right, at Oakland, you're a better team than them. Their defense is not very good. It's still a work in progress. They're going to score some points, but if your only strength is offense versus the Bears, you're not going to be very successful. I do think the Bears defense will do enough versus Derek Carr, Antonio Brown, and Josh Jacobs, who they added in the draft. I think the Bears are a better football team. You made the playoffs for a reason last year. You won 12 games last year for a reason. I think you'll you'll win that game. Coming off a bye week, I think you'll beat the Saints. I see the Saints regressing this year. They lost Max Unger, they lost Mark Ingram, and Drew Brees at the end of the year showed a lot of declining. He showed that he's declining a lot. Drew Brees' arm strength is not the same. The numbers aren't the same. When you watch him play, it doesn't look like he can make the same throws. The guy is getting older. Father time has caught up to him. They didn't add any speedy wide receivers in the draft, so pretty much all you have to worry about is Michael Thomas and Jared Cook. It's a home game. I think your defense is going to be up for this game. It's a tight game. The Saints' defense is very good. I just think Mitch Trubisky will make a play or two that Drew Brees doesn't make. I think that defense of the Bears will play very well versus Drew Brees and the Saints, and that offense I think will take a step back. But, however, the very next game I think you'll lose to the Chargers. This is probably going to be your biggest win of the season versus the Saints. The Saints are a very good team. They obviously were one play away from getting to the Super Bowl a year ago. They're a very good team. Usually when teams come off a big emotional win, they come down to earth the very next week. And I think you're just going to lose to the Chargers. The Chargers are one of the 5 most talented teams in all of football to me. Philip Rivers, a very good quarterback. Melvin Gordon, a very good running back. Derwin James, very good safety. They add Hunter Henry to the frame this year, who was hurt off last year. They have very good wide receivers. Keenan Allen, to me, is very good. It's a tough, tight game. It's going to be a defensive shootout, in my opinion, but I think Melvin Ingram and Joey Bosa, Derwin James, King, and Casey Hayward do enough versus the Mitch Trubisky offense. I think the Chargers legitimately are a better team than the Bears this year. That's just my humble opinion. I think you'll lose that game. And then at Philadelphia, I could see you maybe still in the game just because you're going to be looking for revenge in that game. But to me, Carson Wentz is a better quarterback than Nick Foles. He just is, okay? And look, I think the Philadelphia Eagles are the most talented team in the NFC. Look, Deshaun Jackson, this Eagles offense is going to be better than this offense was the past year. It's not going to be one of those things where you're only going to hold the Eagles to 15 points like it did a year ago. This Eagles offense added Deshaun Jackson, added some wide receivers in the draft. They got 3 or 4 starting running backs. They took your starting running back from last year, Jordan Howard. I think it's going to be a tough game, but the fact it's in Philadelphia, I think the Philadelphia Eagles win that game. So the next 4 games on your schedule, let's go over them. Lions at home, at the Rams. Giants at home, at the Detroit Lions. Okay, I think you go 2-2 in that stretch of games. I see you beating the Lions, but I see you dropping a game to Detroit. I just think Detroit, with the additions they had in the offseason, they're a better football team than they were a year ago. The Detroit Lions are an improved football team. They're better than they were last year. They added T.J. Hawkinson in the draft. They got Sax Harrison now on the defensive line. They added Mike Daniels. Okay, they added Trey Flowers. They added Danny Amendola. They got T.J. Hawkinson, who they added in the draft, like I said. To me, Detroit's good enough to split with you this year. I just have them winning in Detroit. I see you beating them in Chicago, okay? Now, at the Rams, you could potentially beat them because I don't think the Rams have a very good home field advantage because it's in LA. I mean, pretty much last year when the Packers played them, okay, it was pretty much more Green Bay Packers fans there than the Rams were. There were more Packers fans than Rams fans at the game, okay? But to me, the Rams are a better football team. Last year, look, I know you beat them last year. Jared Goff played terrible versus you guys last year. But again, the fact that it's on the road in Los Angeles, I got the Rams beating you this year. I think they respond this year and beat you. To me, they're a better football team. Jared Goff, to me, is a better quarterback than Mitch Trubisky. Todd Gurley is a better running back than all the running backs you have in your team. Aaron Donald is going to be the best player on the field, in my opinion. I have you losing at the Rams. I think you'll beat the Giants. Look, the Giants, I don't know what to make of the Giants. Eli Manning, to me, is a shot fighter. He's not very good anymore. Their wide receivers aren't very good. Saquon Barkley is all they really got on offense. You shut Saquon Barkley down, you shut that entire offense and team down pretty much. They don't have a very good offensive line. They don't have a very good defense. The fact that you lost to them last year, I don't know how you lost them last year, but again, I got you righting that wrong this year and beating them. So the last 4 games of your season. Okay, can you potentially make a playoff push? We'll see. Cowboys at home, at Packers, Chiefs at home, at Vikings. A tough stretch of games. You will go 2-2 in that stretch of games. I'll explain why. Cowboys at home. Look, you have the defense to beat Dak Prescott in this offense. If you pretty much shut down Ezekiel Elliott, you pretty much shut down that offense. You have the quarterbacks and safeties to match up with them on the outside. I do think you'll stack the box. You'll take Ezekiel Elliott out of the game. Let's be real. Do you trust Dak Prescott versus this Khalil Mack-led defense? I don't trust the Cowboys on the road. I think they're a Super Bowl contender this year. But again, you get them at home. I think you'll win that game. Then at Green Bay, I really struggled with this game. But again, last year, we actually beat you last year. We were a flawed football team last year. And last year at Chicago, we could have won that game. It was a 1-score game. So again, we were right there. We were a couple plays away from sweeping the Bears last year. So again, the fact that it's at Green Bay, I have Aaron Rodgers and this Packers team beating the Chicago Bears. I just think that Aaron Rodgers and this offense will respond this year. He's got another year to work with all the good rookie wide receivers we had last year. Okay, Devontae Adams is a very good wide receiver. This defense is very good. The Packers are a better football team than they were last year. And I have them beating the Chicago Bears in Green Bay. Chiefs at home, you have the defense to beat the Chiefs. The Chiefs' defense is bad. So the fact you're going to be able to move the ball versus the Chiefs. You will move the ball versus the Chiefs. Now, I do think Patrick Mahomes is head and shoulders above Mitch Trubisky. I don't know why the Chicago Bears decided to take Mitch Trubisky over Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes. I don't get it. Some Bears fan come to me and tell me how you picked Mitch Trubisky over Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes. I don't get it. I don't get it to this day. You will regret that for the future. But for the time being, you're just as good of a team as the Chiefs. You'll win that game at Minnesota. Look, Minnesota, I know they choked versus you guys last year, but they added to their offensive line in the draft. They are just as talented as you guys on paper. And look, to me, Kirk Cousins, he's a serviceable quarterback. They have very good wide receivers. Stephon Diggs, Adam Thielen, very, very good. They added to their tight end position. To me, Minnesota is just too talented of a team to get swept by the Bears back-to-back seasons. So, in conclusion, yes, I have the Bears taking a step back this year. Couple reasons why. You lost some key players. You lost Adrian Amos. You lost Jordan Howard, okay? And you lost Vic Fangio, your defensive coordinator, the best defensive coordinator in all football. Naturally, look, defenses usually take more major steps back than offenses do year to year. So, if you're gonna bet on a unit of football taking a step back, I'm gonna bet your defense takes a step back. Now, again, Mitch Trubisky, maybe he makes it work with Matt Nagy. But again, I have the belief that teams now have film on Mitch Trubisky. I am a huge believer that Mitch Trubisky was a product of Matt Nagy's schemes last year. So I don't think Mr. Trubisky will take this huge, big leap in 2019-2020. And let's be real. Last year, you had a cupcake schedule, Chicago. You had one. You had a cupcake schedule. You played 3 playoff teams last year. I'm looking at your schedule right here. I see 1. Okay. I see 2. I see 3. I see 4. I see 5. I see 6. Okay. I see 7. I see 8. I see 7 or 8 potential playoff teams you will play this season. So your schedule is not going to be as easy this year. The fact that I don't think Mr. Trubisky will take a big leap in year number 3. I think teams now have film on Matt Nagy's scheme. They have film on Mr. Trubisky and his tendencies again. And I just think the Chicago Bears in a division where Green Bay's improved, where Minnesota's improved, where Detroit has improved, they will lose some games that they did not lose in 2019-2020. So, in conclusion, the Bears will be 8-8 in 2019-2020. I could see 9-7. I could see you being as good as you were last year. But again, if you had to ask me, 8-8 is the way to go in 2019-2020. That's a wrap for this video, Bears fans. I know you are mad at me, but guess what? I don't care. I don't care at all. It doesn't matter to me. Be sure to smash the like button right now if you're rocking with your boys. Subscribe to the channel if you're new as well. I do post a ton of great sports videos weekly and almost every single day if I can. It is my favorite thing in the world to do, to make YouTube content for you guys. I appreciate all you guys that watch my videos and tune in. I want to become a sports analyst when I get older. So if you're down with that, if you love me, if you love my YouTube channel, if you love my videos, if you are inspired and believe in my dreams, just tell all your friends about this channel. The best thing you guys can do to help this channel grow is to just tell people about the Juice Alert in 2019-2020. Share this channel on Facebook, share it on Twitter, share it on Instagram, all that good stuff. I appreciate all you guys for tuning in today. God bless all you guys, and I'm out. Have a blessed day.